on the south wall.
So this is really the commercial part of the building. There's residential.
Typical downtown. The first floor is commercial.
In this case, the restaurant.
In this case, the restaurant and the senior center. And then above the apartments, apartments will show you in blue. Somebody asked about before.
Sorry, technical difficulties. It's not the screen share.
It's easier to hear you. It's easier to hear you.
Good?
Yes.
All right, much better, thank you. So the blue is dedicated to the residential part of the building. We provided an entrance onto Washington because we want there to be an entry door that people can translate in and out. There's a corridor that goes back to the lobby at the rear. The lobby's at the rear because it's also part of the service corridor of the building, so trash removal, et cetera, can come off that driveway in the back. Also, if this lobby and elevators were at the front of the building, then instead of glass on the second, third, and fourth floors, you'd be looking at a section of blank wall. So there's a couple of reasons for this. One is functional, the other is efficiency, and the other is purely aesthetic. We are proposing above a building that is smaller on the next few floors. The building above is actually an L shape, whereas the building below occupies almost that full extent of the lot. Again, north is to the top, Washington at the bottom, and the building is in an L-shaped configuration. You can see where the elevator comes up at the rear. There's a trash room with trash chutes, and then the units, the corridor is shown in white, and there are 2 emergency stairs that's required by code. The blue units are the 1-bedrooms. There are 7 1-bedroom units, and there are 4 2-bedroom units. Now we're looking at this floor, but every floor is actually identical. The reason why there's a different drawing for this is that we're depicting the rooftop terrace. So when we have that L-shaped building, but the building below is wider, we end up with a rooftop terrace. So we have an amenity for the residents at that level. There's also an area for utility and storage. So as I mentioned, this is the 3rd and 4th floor, identical to what we just talked about on the 2nd floor, except we're not depicting graphically the roof terrace on this plan. So there's 11 units per floor, 33 units total. Again, 12 that are 2 bedrooms and 21 that are 1 bedrooms. We've also depicted rooftop amenity. Again, the building as it rises up to the roof, it still maintains that L shape. We're bringing the elevator and the stair to that level, as well as the secondary stair for egress, and we're having a rooftop garden space. Again, this is a downtown building. There's no real backyard. We're not sitting on 3 acres with a garden and paths. So we felt that it would be beneficial for these residents to have an outdoor space, and having it on the roof is certainly a great place to look.
A portion of this rooftop is also dedicated to the ground floor commercial space. So the lower terrace that's lower here is for residences, and this upper rooftop terrace is primarily
For the restaurant.
For the restaurant?
Yeah.
And would the senior center be able to access it as
Yeah,
well?
so for the commercial tenants.
Yep.
There is a table on sheet A7. This really depicts the square footage of the building. The ground floor, which we talked about, the 9,000 or so square feet for the restaurant, 6,000 for the senior center. That's a building footprint gross of 16,675 square feet. Below that is a basement level. It's the same exact size. So there's a full basement to this building. There's another 7,500 square feet that's dedicated to the restaurant use. This would be back of house operation, storage, freezer, refrigeration, dry storage prep. It wouldn't be for seating. However, the senior center does have an additional 1,608 square feet on the lower level and an elevator to access that. So there's an elevator that is separate in the building for the senior center. So the senior center is at that street level and then one floor below.
So could I ask a question at this point? When I met with Conrad and his associate on this initially,
Yes.
one of the main things that we wanted to get across from the council was that the senior center be all on the first level and not on two levels. So I see that has not changed. Where are we in the thought process?
So we
In doing
can
that.
certainly make that
Basement level.
concession. I think we would be able to provide more square footage for the senior center in the basement if they were amenable to us having it on 2 floors. We would have an elevator large enough for wheelchair access and a gurney, anything that you might need, having lower level space. If it needs to be accommodated entirely on the first floor, we can certainly do that, but I think we would be able to provide a larger footprint for the senior center if we were able to do it on 2 floors.
So I'm sorry, I just want to clarify, it's not an issue of multi-floor senior center, it's an issue that the seniors don't want to be in the basement, no windows. So I personally would not put a senior below level. I also am concerned about flooding, obviously, through our downtown. This is right near the brook, and don't want to maximize the basement level. I will not be voting for anything with a senior put below ground. That just will not fly in my world. I do the senior services here. A lot of people that I work with, they want bright, airy, light space. So I'm not putting my seniors below ground. So if there's an option, I was going to ask, is there an option to move it first and second?
So before we go there, if you don't mind, this program space between the 2 floors is, let me get you the exact figure, is 7,637 square feet, which I understand was larger, more square footage than what had been requested. The vast amount of that space, 6,000 square feet, is actually on grade open to the street. The reason for the lower level was not necessarily to have social spaces or day rooms or lounges, for example. It's to put all of the support spaces, the storage, any possible food prep, refrigeration, all the back of the house stuff will primarily be at that lower level. That keeps the square footage on the first floor open for those types of program spaces that you're talking about. So I gave you the misconception that, you know, we were having a card room in the basement. That's not what we're planning to do. I've designed thousands of senior assisted living, independent living, active adult living spaces. I've done medical daycare centers. You know, I get it. I did the senior center in Cresskill years ago, Kings. So I don't want to leave you with the impression that the ground floor is being used for that type of occupancy. That primarily happens on the ground floor. But now we have more space there because all the back of the house stuff is a place to go. Right? So we have wider, open, more airy first floor space.
Thank you.
We would also be more than willing to accommodate additional activity square footage on the ground floor. If that's something in the programming of this space, we found that we needed more.
In the senior seniors have requested office space for their staff, exercise rooms, social rooms, a full kitchen. They do luncheons and pancake breakfast, those kind of things. So it needs to have a multi-use area.
Yeah, I think there's more than enough
Yeah, I mean,
room to accommodate that.
That was the other thing, it's probably big enough just on this floor,
Mhm.
the lower level's really a bonus.
Just a quick question, because I know Council President Michael said to just write things
Yeah.
down, but just two
Oh, please.
quick questions for you. One was, I just want to echo what Councilwoman Dayton said about flooding just up the block on Washington. About a year or so ago, there was flooding in the basement, I want to say the bicycle store. So just I don't know how aware you are of that, just, in your plans. Okay, so I don't know how that impacts anything,
Right, so,
And I
you know,
have one
I-
other question for you.
again, flooding is not uncommon.
Yeah,
Tenafly.
unfortunately.
Crestkill,
Yeah.
if you live in Gloucester, I've grown up in this area myself.
Hmm,
We do buildings all over Hoboken, New York City,
Oh.
places that are flood prone.
yeah,
Building the full lower level doesn't necessarily mean it's going to flood. Older buildings flood because they have windows, they have points where water infiltrates.
okay,
Building today like this can be built with a dry lower level. You just have to detail it and waterproof it.
okay. And so my quick question had to do with the roof. You mentioned that the roof would be able to be used by the senior center and the restaurant.
Yes.
Can you explain that a little bit more? Is that for rooftop seating or something?
So
Because you said it was
I think I
gardens.
Misspeak a little, and my son corrected me. The roof access for the residents will happen in that northeast corner of the building. So the residents of the building are being allocated this terrace, again, if I didn't mention it, 3,500 square feet or so, so that's a pretty big area. First and foremost, and then the main roof, which is on top of the building on the fourth floor, that will be accessed with this elevator that comes to the top, and that would be used for the senior center as well as the commercial tenant. We could absolutely create a segregation of space so that there is an area that's dedicated just to the senior center that doesn't necessarily mix with the commercial.
Yeah, I don't see how they would.
I'm just confused because on that drawing, the elevator is where the lobby is.
Right.
So how, if the elevator to the rooftop is in the lobby, how are you only allocating that to the restaurant and the senior center? You know what I mean? Like from the lobby, I'm going to my apartment. Why would I could go to the rooftop. I'm confused on how that's gonna be exclusively restaurant and senior center when the elevator is in the lobby of the residential
So
building.
what we were planning on doing, just so we weren't ending up with 3 banks of
Right,
elevators,
right.
which would be on
Right.
portable. We were gonna use, if somebody was being brought to the roof for a private party, for example, from the commercial space, they would be brought up by the hostess. So the hostess would have a key fob, he or she would swipe that, and that would allow for roof access.
So
The residents don't have that key fob that takes them to the roof, and the same thing for the seniors.
So the elevator that's on the senior center side can't go all the way up to the
No,
rooftop?
that one doesn't go on.
Okay, all right.
Councilman Park?
Question on the one with all the numbers.
The table,
Yes, the table, last one. So in the corridor that's 15 feet wide, next to the post office, in the very back is a staircase to the parking lot. What is the elevation on that? So where's the front door to the senior center going to be
there's
In
2
relation.
doors into the senior center. We're looking at a section that was cut through the site,
Right.
mostly to show heights,
Mhm.
and also show the organization by color, the same color that's used in the floor. We're looking from Tenafly Road,
Correct.
east at the building as if it's been cut, This is Washington Avenue, this is Post Office. I think you get that, I just want to make sure everyone else does. There is an entrance in the rear that will probably, we imagine, be used mostly by the people that come by van. And then we have a main entrance off Washington.
That van is gonna be, that's tight for a van to do a U-turn, so it's gonna go in and out.
There won't be a U-turn by the.
It'll be reversed out, I guess, yeah.
Or back in.
Okay, last question.
Oh, I got a bunch, sorry.
Right, well,
And
actually,
again,
I have
as
one
we
question.
said, this is just the first conversation.
Okay.
You could
well,
share with David, as we
So-
said.
So the back lane that you have proposed behind the building is an overlay, as you can see, of where the post office parking was. And many in our community have asked, well, how am I bringing my packages to the post office? Where's my route to the post office going to be? Where's the post office trucks going to drop off? Those are main concerns for our residents. I'm not seeing here how you are envisioning this space between the buildings to be both.
It doesn't function for the post.
So you're eliminating the entirety of the post office parking lot there?
We are.
We are.
We are,
I just,
We're coming
again,
from
I'm
behind.
questioning
Yeah,
the, I
behind.
just want to make sure that our council
Yes.
understands that
The
this will
other
no
side.
longer be available for our residents.
Yes, yeah,
They will come in through like where the Masons are and go behind the
Mhm.
post office,
yeah.
where all the post office trucks are now.
No, that's their parking lot. Our parking lot would be the CVS one.
No,
So
she-
you'd have to walk a package from, I'm just saying,
She
these are.
needs to use the post office.
To
That
use the
might be
post
going
office,
to the
which
other
has
side
a
of the house.
door now in and out in this alley.
Yeah.
We now, remember, the post office, this is the only door that opens to the public. It doesn't have a door on the other side, so we need to keep that in mind. We're gonna reconstruct our post office and they're going to have to, because I can't walk, all 5 feet of me can't walk a package, or senior or somebody differently abled cannot and should not have to walk a package from our CVS parking lot through all the way to this alley to get into the front entrance of the post office.
Or they could park right in front. So, again, part of the
Again, there's
conversation
no parking here anymore.
Right,
No.
there was council discussion of
on the street.
if the RFP moves forward with
Mhm.
and a developer is
Short-term parking.
Yeah,
designated,
short term.
there would be accommodations made on Tenafly Road for parking.
Short term.
Right.
Okay, so,
And potentially looking into shared parking with the adjacent lot for the post office.
I'm not sure if everyone's now just using UPS, but I was at the post office the other day, a line 10 deep. Everyone's sending out packages for their kids to college.
Okay.
So we can make 3 or 4 spots maybe on the street, but everyone with these big.
We are
Right, but
exploring
that's
other
like a week.
options.
I understand, but it's a reality for our
I
residents
understand.
to eliminate all access to the front of the post office.
So just to clarify, are you saying that you wanted the walking lane from the parking lots in the back of the building to the front? Or are you saying you still wanted parking spaces within the parking lot that went out for RFP?
I disagree that the building should be this size. I
But
think,
that's not
But
my
then we're gonna
question.
take away from the senior center, we're gonna take away from the
I
restaurant,
understand.
which adds more value to our residents than the few parking lots with the few people that are sending packages.
I hear you.
Can I bring something up? Just
Sure,
because it's a part of a
absolutely.
Larger program here, is that we intend as a part of this to, on a municipally owned lot of the borough's choosing, build a parking garage that is intended primarily for residents of this building, but during daytime hours, 7 to 4 or 7 to 5, we would open up to residents of the town and visitors of the town to be used as a free municipal lot, as the developer's expense.
Where's the parking lot? Am I missing it? Just the blue?
No, so
No.
it's not depicted on here. So
Where's the
I-
parking
as
lot?
we
It would
said-
be on an
On the-
existing borough parking lot.
on an existing borough-owned piece of property, which there are a handful around the area, that you could build a parking lot.
Your comment still stands, regardless of where they build a parking lot, you still have to haul a package, it's a fair comment, it's a trade-off between having a senior center and a more vibrant downtown, you're not wrong. The only question is, have you solved for that, and that's part of a separate and further on discussion. It's a reasonable question, it's a reasonable thing to walk through, if they can build something that's adjacent to or something that's sufficient for everybody, we can get there. But it's something to keep in consideration for the next round of discussions.
I would echo that and just add, even add one row of parking with the drive up, cut this building in half.
Right.
Or maybe that's what it needs to be to make the balance,
It's
and we
just
need
so
to figure that out.
everyone's aware,
Okay.
nothing could fit a little-
basement.
Right, okay. Thank you so much. This is great. Like I said, so if we could just please share with David
It's exciting.
the topics of areas, and then we'll have the team come back for a more thorough review.
And this was done slightly in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Your RFP defines certain general things. I've been doing this 40 years. When I redid Closter Plaza, there were 14 public meetings, getting input like this, refining and adapting.
We'll keep it to under 14.
But then, again, this is a work in progress. So I don't want anyone to think,
Absolutely.
this is exactly what it has to be. We're here to-
Perfect.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Public's comments, audience members wishing to speak will have 3 minutes, 3-minute time limit to address the governing body items on the agenda. Large groups are asked to have a spokesperson represent them. Omar, we have anybody? Please. If you want to just come up and give your name, that'd be great.
Process, state my name.
There you go. That's
John
it.
Williams. How you guys doing?
Very well. Thank you. for coming.
I reached out to Mark Zinn on March 18, 2025. And I had a proposal to him for my son, who grew up in Tenafly. His name's Sam Williams. You guys have probably heard of him. Mark said that he passed on a letter on my behalf on my son to the council. And this was in regards to naming the cage out on Tenafly Road, as you guys all know, after Sam, because Sam made it as a professional soccer player and signed with the Chicago Fire. Sam grew up in Tenafly. I have the letter that I passed out to, I gave you Mark, if you guys would like to pass around to take a look. We came to a little halt. We don't know if you guys have seen this. He said it was presented. We also said that had to go to the Tenafly Youth Soccer, kind of ended up, where are we with it? So I flew back from Chicago, take care of the grandkids, visit in Connecticut, and then come back to Jersey. And, Sam attended elementary school in Stillman, basically born and raised in Tenafly. And went to the middle school, graduated in high school in Tenafly. He's absolutely signed with he played soccer with the New York Red Bulls, was the only kid ever cut by the New York Red Bulls at 12 years old, 13 years old. He's the only kid ever made it back. He set the record for the most minutes in the USL, which is a professional league at 16 years old, for the Red Bulls in their entire history. And he played over 2,000 minutes in 37 appearances at 16 years old. He then ended up getting a full scholarship to the University of North Carolina, which was guaranteed for life if he spent 3 semesters there. So he can go back anytime and get a scholarship. The Chicago Fire bought his rights in 2025, in March, and he signed a first-team contract. So he's the first kid. There's been, if anybody would like to take a guess of how many residents have lived in Tenafly since the beginning, if anybody would like to take a guess how many people lived in Tenafly?
200K.
474 to 495,000 people have
So
lived
close.
in Tenafly, okay? Since its inception. Now, the best part about this is there's 3 players that have signed a professional contract. In professional sports all in Tenafly, we all know it's the 1% club, right? However, if you guys can name those 3 players, it'd be great. One was a football player, one was another soccer player, and the third, obviously, is Sam. And the other thing is Sam is the only person in the history of Tenafly that has played a professional game at 19 years old. Okay. All I'm saying is that there's a great opportunity because he took his craft and learned everything at that cage. And it could be called Sam's House. And you could have like a dedication and a little ceremony with like the resilience, don't give up, and all that stuff. So that's why I'm here. And I hope that you guys could, what's that?
Jay Burhalter.
Oh, yeah,
Greg
he's gonna try to-
Berhalter, which is his current coach, who went to the University of North Carolina, And the other guy was a professional football player. He,
Grew up on Mountain Road. Father was a sportscaster,
okay.
but I can't remember his name.
He was a professional football player. He didn't last long. He got on practice squads, but he did play one game. Greg didn't play at 19 years old. He went to Europe, but he did go to the University of North Carolina. But Sam's the only person in the history of Tenafly, only to go pro. And he left college. He graduated Tenafly online because we had some problems with the school trying to accommodate his soccer schedule. But he's the only kid that's ever played professional sports in Tenafly.
Congratulations.
And that cage was built for kids to learn and develop. And you could have a plaque of him that says, don't give up, don't quit. You know, this is what dedication and commitment is like. And it's a simple thing. Kid's not dead. You know, why don't we honor somebody who's done something really good for the town? And we just need your guys' approval.
Well, I actually think if I was trying to remember back if this was brought up, and I believe it was, we were going to get input from the United Soccer,
Tenafly United.
Tenafly United, because they paid for the
Cage.
Entire
cage.
cage.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was as simple as us voting. I think it was like there was a little bit more discussion. They needed to be brought into the
So what are the next
discussion.
steps?
So
Yeah.
next steps, that was all I want to clarify.
So let's have, David, if we could follow up with Tenafly United, see where we are, and then come back.
If they have no objection, then we can move forward. from
Yeah.
there.
Are
And
you
we
guys
have
all pretty
a,
much in agreement would be a great idea?
Well,
we have the
That's such a
dedication,
good
like, don't we have the
achievement. My
committee
daughter
that,
lives in that soccer cage.
We
so-
do.
She knows.
She knows. It's-
He when it was first
I
opened up,
will-
he was there every day.
a naming committee, yes.
I will
We
tell
have a
you
naming
this
committee.
with a couple of different
Rules, right.
things. There's rules about naming,
Yeah.
and I know because I was like very
We did this black.
knee deep in it. There's nothing about like a soccer cage, like it's only about like street names or plaques or things like that. So it's not covered by that. So then
Can we do
could
a
break it
plaque?
down.
streets and monuments.
Can we do a plaque at the soccer cage?
Yeah, it's called Sam's house.
But
I mean-
people who built it, right? I mean, maybe it's not.
Yeah,
even a-
let's follow up. Let's follow up
Because,
with, and we'll
because
get-
yeah, because Wendy was working a long time on that too.
Yeah.
It's not, it's monuments and plaques.
Oh, what is this
So-
guy for apartment?
There you
This seems like a pretty simple.
I have nothing
to
that I
me.
need to
I
do with
love
that
this.
one.
I'd actually like something where it's.
Right, I mean, it's a great thing to show something for the kids and residents of Tenafly, that commitment, hard work, hey, you can get cut, you can come back, don't give up, work hard, and your dreams will come true. And,
Okay,
you know,
let's take it. Thank you for, thank you for bringing it forward. Much
All right.
appreciated.
So when do you think that we would hear something, and how are we gonna go about,
He's
how
a
are we gonna
hard
go
sell.
about finding out when? Because I'm in Chicago, guys, and I do a lot of texting, and I'm retired, so I can have a lot of fun time, because you know why I moved to Chicago? So I could watch Sam play.
There you go.
All right, but then I came back to watch the grandkids, but I just would like to know where we would be with the next steps.
David?
You know, what we need.
So
David?
Tenafly United usually has a
If-
board
if I
meeting
may,
around this time.
Yeah,
I think
So-
you could coordinate with Jamie since
Yeah, we're gonna make sure
it's
we get it.
probably
Okay.
close to the
It'd
time
be a
when
cool
the
thing.
different
You
co-sponsored
know?
sports have to make their presentations. No,
Jimmy.
no, no. Jimmy
Dave Park,
can.
he's on my, he'll be my guy,
Yeah,
my
and she
go-to
should
guy.
coordinate with
All right.
Tenafly United.
Well, that'd be my point of, probably.
But Sam
Okay.
did play a lot of sports in Tenafly and all
No,
this.
she's a big
Unfortunately, he didn't get to play with Tenafly United because
No,
his skills
yeah.
were a little bit.
So we got the actions. We'll
All
certainly,
right.
please
Anything
leave
else?
your
Any
information
other
with
questions
Omar
for
and
me?
we'll take care of it.
Do you guys need my cell phone, my email? or
Sure.
anything
Why
like
don't you share with
Yeah, with
Omar
Omar.
with your information?
that? Okay.
There you go.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Very much for your time.
Perfect. Omar, anything else?
Any other public comment?
Oh, I love their presentation.
Public comment?
Thank you for clapping. That was so nice.
Okay, no one online?
No,
You
no
don't
one
often
online.
get the
Okay.
flash from the public on anything like that.
So let's move on to the administrator's report. David?
Yeah, so I apologize, I handed this out late to you tonight. I've been out a little bit. If there are any questions on the report, or if there's something you want to ask me specifically.
I do.
Go ahead, I'll attempt to answer your question. Go ahead.
So first of all, I just want to talk about the building report and the August and July building reports.
Mhm.
This is picky, but I say this all the time. One page is like this, one page is like that. Can we just get them all?
You know, you could just
I
do it
do.
on your,
I do, I just move them all, but
Yeah.
it always comes, they're basically upside down. But on the building report, I saw, oh God, now I gotta go, where's my, oh no. It just totally nicked me off that thing. On the building report, I had a question on the vacant properties and what we're doing on that. And Wendy, I wanted to ask you, do we need a different ordinance on that?
We do. There's been updated case law and legislation that has changed. So your vacant property ordinance is kind of your own thing that isn't yours is very different. It's, the new state law authorizes, well, it's not that new now, but the law authorizes for foreclosed properties. Your commercial program is something we need to talk about.
Okay, so can you add that to a future?
Happily.
I don't think we have many empty spaces.
We had a full list this time around. That's why I was concerned.
I think a lot of things are going in.
I think a lot of new things are coming in.
Yeah,
Saw a new
Um,
dance studio.
yeah.
Yes.
Matcha?
Yeah,
I saw matcha.
I'm excited for the new chicken place that's coming, Roost. If
Yeah.
anyone hasn't heard about that, that's
Yeah.
gonna be amazing. But we have a
Are
long
you,
list.
are we able to talk publicly about the Serafina? What you told me earlier?
Well, we have.
Now I'm on bated breath.
A liquor license application
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay!
for
Serafina,
transfer. So,
Excellent.
To be to comment at a future meeting.
Yes.
the question I had for you, for real, was about the low leaf field.
Yes.
So tonight, we have an ordinance, if the public is listening, to put in another $100,000 on this project. And I want to know the status of the bids. I know we said we'd be in construction this fall, like this November.
Mhm.
But again, the $100,000 that we're passing tonight, can you just break that down for me? Why
Sure.
we need to pass it separately?
Sure. So the $100,000 that you're considering tonight is going to be funded wholly by the Little League. So yeah, you have to appropriate it from your open space trust funds, and then you'll receive the money in. And then once the money comes back in, Susan will probably record it as a miscellaneous,
Donation?
as a miscellaneous revenue not
Not
anticipated.
Okay.
And
Can't go back
then,
to open space
and then it will go back to open space
at the end of the year.
at the end of the year or in transfers.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
That's what I thought. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
and that
clarify.
would be really an upper number. Right now, we're negotiating, as I said last meeting, we're basically between about $610,000 is where we're negotiating at this point. So it's funding the difference from what monies we have, which I used to have this at the top of my head, Susan. It's $547,000, something like that. So we have 547. We've already appropriated available. The Little League would make up the difference. The reason we are asking for it to be $100,000 is to allow for any contingencies that are unforeseen field conditions.
Mhm.
So it would cover that without having to come back and ask for additional funding.
And we seem to be on schedule for construction this fall.
Yes, so.
And they're choosing their timing.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's their timing, and we should be able to be in a position to award a contract at our September 2nd meeting.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. That's the only other two questions I had. Were those-
Good.
Anyone else?
Um,
I had one.
Yep.
And again, I'm not sure. This is a code enforcement question. There's a resident who has written to mayor and council on code enforcement for flooding.
Yes, I'm working with the borough engineer on it already.
You're working on, okay. And do you know the status if we've done an inspection of the surrounding property that's alleged to have flooded?
I can confirm that an inspection was done of the property in question, and the property owner was advised of the need that their site plan does not match what is on the ground after construction, so stop work would be required in new application. That went out already.
It's a house under construction?
There was work being done in the backyard.
Okay, of one property allegedly.
So you
flooding
can't get
another.
your CO for, or your certificate of approval for the work that was done because it wasn't done according to the site plan. So they have to redo it, or they have to submit a new site plan application.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's the first one. That's the first of the flooding. The second flooding I have on Highwood. There's a house that had, for impervious coverage percentage, grass in between the driveway, and they filled it in, and then the neighbor below them, like the neighbors below them are getting water. I think that it's,
Have someone sent a letter to the borough?
no, okay.
So then,
They need to
Right.
send to.
so someone has to bring it to
Well,
the,
this is more about a code enforcement. So if someone
Do we
says,
have an
You should call
address?
code
I
enforcement.
can get you it.
Okay, if you give me the address, I'll have code enforcement look at it.
Okay, I'm just saying, we have a lot of code enforcement happening.
And remember, you have part-time employees, so you kind of have to, they have to get the complaints in order to know where to go.
Right. That's the most important thing. People have to tell us.
And Facebook is not how they tell us.
Correct.
Correct.
I understand that. Some of
There's
these are phone
actually,
calls.
and there's
But they
online.
yours
But they should be calling the
Right.
borough.
I always say call. the
Not
borough.
only
I always
call,
say
but
call
there's
David. I
online-
always say call code enforcement.
Lauren, there's an online form on the borough website.
I hear you, Wendy. I do.
There's an email.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
People,
what's
you
next?
need to understand it so that then something can be done, because code enforcement does not follow Facebook.
So next correspondence, we have a correspondence from Joseph Kelly. Any questions on this? I guess
No complaints from the neighbors, I guess.
so that was the question I had. I had two elements. One is, I just don't know where the containers sit. Obviously, if they sit, right in front of Knickerbocker, that's different than versus in the back. So I don't know where the containers are going to be placed. And then
How long?
I think just rough timing, they say it should be about a year. That's a
Yeah.
long time. And the way it's written is, can we just have it until it's completed?
No.
There's
There's a statute.
So it's normally 90 days. As they wrote in the letter, they wrote, I know it's supposed to be 90 days, but can we just have it until this project's done?
And are they on the clock on the 90 days so far, or is this a preemptive moving longer than 90 days?
But he wants it a year.
Oh, no.
So I don't know, the way I read it, I'm not sure if it's started yet or not. So I don't know. I guess Wendy would be best at it. My point of view would be, first of all, where are the containers? Are they right in front or are they in the back? And then two, if it's 90 days, if that's our rule, then I would ask that they come back every 90 days, and as long as.
Why is this a council matter?
So you have to approve the extension of more time.
So the ordinance says you can do it for 90, but
Yes.
the ordinance extension requires council approval?
Yes.
Not building or planning or anything like that.
So give me 1 second just to bring up the code.
I mean, that really goes to the question of whether 90 days has started, because if you're at day 89, this becomes an emergent issue. If this is preemptive to day one, then why are we having this conversation?
I don't think it's preemptive to day one.
I doubt
I think- I think it's there.
Because nobody's told me, right? So,
And the idea is that the
Because
ponds
it's
It's on
interfere
their
with
property,
the neighbors,
so
so if they give them
however
for
long
90
they want.
but the neighbors aren't here to complain.
What?
They receive
No, the way
responses.
the
Right.
containers,
They
just
have
like
to
when
get if they got new-
It's
residents,
storage containers.
it's storage.
Storage.
Even if it's on your
Right,
property,
so like they've seen it after they've seen it for 90 days.
Yeah.
So there's a temporary use permit for it.
We try to give it for like, a good construction.
is 90 days not the accurate number?
90 is fine. Where are we? That's the process.
Whatever the first number is, I'm pretty sure we've done the max 2 extensions.
So 90, 90, and 90.
No.
He can't get in.
So I think this is something that needs to be discussed both with construction and zoning, because it sounds like they're also looking for approval to use containers for construction supplies, where normally that would be part of your site layout for your construction plan. So I think this is something, David, that perhaps we need to talk to
Refer it
Bob
back to-
about as to what exactly they need and what can they do through their construction site plan application versus just storage containers. One thing is storing their tables and chairs. Another thing is construction materials.
Yeah, and I know that there was another, I forget the address, but there was a problem that we had, that the chief had with a particular address that kept a storage container on the public street for an exorbitant amount of time. And kept coming for extensions and so forth. We finally were able to get that removed by giving them a certain date, but it becomes a problem. We should have a more formal process.
So as far as a container in a residential zone, which I'm not sure if the golf course facilities are located, considered a residential zone or not, but that's where you can get a 30-day permit that can be extended twice just by the zoning official. So that's where you get to the 90 days to appeal to the council. But again, I think more information is still
Yeah,
needed.
so let's have Bob reach out.
Okay.
Good. New business? Okay.
I
Sorry.
don't know if I should do new business or, yeah, I think it makes more sense for new business. Can I say something right now then? I guess? Okay. All right. I wanted to thank the police officers for something on Saturday morning.
New business has the introduction of ordinance.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
But if you went with your council,
I'll do my
Committee
report
reports.
thing.
Yes.
There you go.
Got you.
So can
Oh.
I talk about this one for a second?
about the ordinance,
The new business ordinance? Yes.
it's an introduction, so it's really not,
You want to introduce it first?
no, I'm just saying, generally an introduction, you introduce it and you would discuss it on a public hearing, the second reading night.
I'm trying to give it some context.
Okay,
I don't know, we had discussed.
that's the choice of the chair.
Sure, what can I help? What do you got?
This, I just want to say, this is an ordinance that is requiring now a certain percentage of each building going into Tenafly
Oh, yeah.
to have a percentage of affordable housing units. What this precludes, though, is actually if we meet our affordable housing, allowing a builder to come in and have zero affordable.
You will never meet your affordable housing.
All right, there you go. Well,
So just
I'm
by way
hopeful
of
maybe the law,
explanation.
keeps- you know, the
really
target
said
keeps
that.
moving on
So
that,
you already have an ordinance that has a set aside of 15% for rental properties,
Mhm.
20% for sale properties. And that's if somebody gets a zoning change or a redevelopment, something that increases the density on the site that was otherwise there, right, as well. So what this is doing is because in round 4 under the Fair Housing Act amendments, there is no longer a bonus credit for rental units. That's where the 15% versus the 20% came around because there was this extra percentage of a bonus credit. That is not available to rental units anymore. So the purpose of this ordinance is just to make it 20% across the board because that's how the crediting happens now. So this way you're not losing credits to rentals when it should have the same set aside as for sale units. It's the only modification.
Good?
yes.
Perfect.
And it was part of your housing element and fair share plan.
It is part of our housing element and fair share plan that the planning board discussed. What I wanted to put it on, I guess, which I
No,
don't
well,
think.
so again, you do a vacant land analysis, Tenafly is fully built out, right? So you have an obligation, and then you have what your realistic development potential is. In the middle of those two numbers is your unmet need. If you were to ever meet your unmet need, which dates back to the first round in 1985 till now, you can certainly consider removing this ordinance. It's not happening anytime soon.
If our unmet need becomes zero for a time period.
Then you could repeal your ordinance.
What's our number?
It is proposed this year that we have met our,
No. What you're meeting is your realistic development potential.
correct.
That is your obligation minus your realistic development potential is your unmet need. I believe your realistic development potential is 0. So your full 200 plus units right now is unmet need in addition to the unmet need that you have from the prior round and the
previous.
third round.
Okay.
So it's
Councilman-
hundreds and hundreds of units.
I'm just
Councilman
saying,
Yep.
sorry, Adam, I
No
just
worries.
wanted to say, the reason I was asking is because I did want to add something into this ordinance that if, instead of having to pass a new ordinance later
You
on,
would have to repeal the ordinance. or
well,
amend it.
this is second. No, this is an introduction.
No, I'm saying that
If this passes.
If you pass it, you would have to modify. the
Correct.
appeal. You can't put.
No, no,
You want to put something.
if
that's
you
coded
get
in
to
that
the
says
point
if
where
that.
you have
Yeah.
It's just
zero
saying we can't have
unmet
an
need,
if and statement.
if you get to the point where you have 0 unmet need, then you would amend or repeal. The purpose of making this all 20% across is to help get you to that point sooner.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm just saying, I'm hoping we get to the unmet need to
We all do. Councilman Park, would you like to make the motion?
I move to introduce on first reading ordinance 25-24 and move the hearing to set for September 2nd, 2025 at 7:30 or soon thereafter.
Second.
Omar, will you read the title of the ordinance?
Sure. Ordinance number 24-25, an ordinance amending chapter 35, land development regulations of the revised general ordinances. Councilmember Corsair,
Yes.
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Park,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Leary.
Yes.
Perfect. A public hearing. Councilman Dr. O'Connor, would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, the internet keeps cutting out every time I open it. Thank you. I move to pass and adopt on second and final reading ordinance 25-23, and that notice of same shall be published according to law. Thank you.
Omar, would you like to?
No one's
Oh,
Second, I'll second.
Okay. And are there any public comments on this ordinance? Okay.
Okay.
None. Okay. All right, so let me read this for you. Ordinance number 25-23, an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriate $100,000, supplementing ordinance 24-09 and 25-13 for upgrades at the Little League Field. Councilmember Corsair,
Yes.
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Park,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Leary.
Yes.
Does anyone on the council have any questions on the consent agenda? Okay. So,
I just have one question. The benches, did we decided to just do plain benches and not do the benches that are the Tenafly?
Yes.
So
I didn't ask you. You doesn't even.
Councilman,
I'm not answering you for ease of efficiency.
Councilman,
So it's going to be in a couple different tranches. So the first tranche is the typical recycled plastic benches that we have in most of our parks. I'm getting pricing on the benches for downtown, and we do have some additional funding for that. So as soon as I get that, we'll bring that.
Because
to us.
those are making a nice impact and people are really
yeah.
liking it. I'm getting calls that people are liking it.
Yeah,
So,
they're just.
I wanna make sure
Just
to
to clarify,
keep it.
the orange ones?
Yeah, the orange one.
The orange ones.
Tenafly
Ones
orange.
with the big dog.
Tenafly.
Just want to
With
clarify.
the Tenafly logo, to show consistency.
I'll vote against any incremental dollars spent on painting the orange.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve resolution R25-425 through R25-435?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Omar, call the roll.
Councilmember Corsair,
Yes.
Councilmember Dayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Park,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Leary.
Yes.
Perfect. Could I get an approval of the minutes of July 14th, 2025 and August 4th, 2025? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Committee reports? Councilman Roglieri,
I am all well, my friend. Thank you, sir.
Councilwoman Dayton,
I want to thank our DPW for doing, we had a flood on River Edge, and we have very quick responses from all our first responders and our DPW, so thank you very much to all those involved, especially our police also, who were directing traffic away from River Edge Road. And that's all I have.
Councilwoman Corsair,
Good.
Councilwoman Dr. O'Connor.
Yes, so I got some numbers from Tenafly composting program. So the neighborhood compost is the group we use, and I always encourage our residents to sign up for the composting program. But since its inception, Tenafly has composted 36,058 pounds of compost. So,
It's accelerating.
well, we are still at about 50 families who participate. love that to improve, but but they compost a lot. So I did also want to just say this for David, and I know you're involved with this. When we changed the lock combination, it did help curb the code sharing. So now the people who are in the program are the ones using it. I did just want to, I guess I'm going to use this time to thank the police. Saturday morning at 6:20, I'm going to repeat 6:20 on Saturday morning, because I don't think that could be said enough. The roofers decided to start working on Stillman School, and not quietly. So I called at about 6:40 the police for this code enforcement issue, and the police were able to answer, and the work did stop until about 8. So clearly they went and spoke to them. So thank you to the police. I'm just going to say, especially since I'm across from one of the schools being worked on, if David, if we could circle back to our code enforcement officers, it's more than just one now, right? I think we had another
We have 2 part-time.
2 part-time. And other people have emailed after this happened at 6:20 in the morning on Saturday. I want to just make sure that all of the workers, all of the different parts of the people who are like fixing different parts of this building are aware. Like today, I'm up, but there was work that started with another group at 7 a.m. I know that's also against code. We don't start work at 7 a.m. on weekdays. So I think that everybody involved with the school construction, all the, I understand they're in clearly some sort of rush
We could,
before the end, but
we could amend an ordinance really quickly and grab a bunch of that school capital money
I like it.
in fines, right? But on a serious note, I'll ask Bob to send a note to whoever pulled the permit, and to make sure that all of those folks are aware. And then I'll also write to the school business administrator.
thank you so much, because there's so many different people working on it, and it's all over the town. It's so loud.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Parker.
Tenafly swim team, the Tenafly Sharks, are undefeated this year.
That's awesome.
94 swimmers.
Wow. 94 swimmers.
Tell me one more time. Sorry.
The Sharks.
Tenafly Sharks, the
Swim club.
Went
were
undefeated.
undefeated this year.
Nice.
That's just because tigers don't swim that way.
In their bougie pool? They do it in our pool or their pool?
I don't, Leonia at the meet.
But they practice it at our pool.
Should we invite them?
This
to
is
the-
what happens when, the mayor's not here. Councilman Roglieri just gets a little punch drunk. Anything else?
Can we, Dan, can we invite them to the next meeting and say congrats?
Oh,
No?
goodness sake.
Okay.
Go to the pool.
Children, focus. Three dates I want to make sure everyone puts on their calendars. Thursday, September 4th, welcome reception. Very excited about that. Tuesday, September 9th. Oh, sorry.
So
Very
it's
good.
a
Thank you.
Peace Plaza.
In front of the,
East
the
East
library.
Plaza.
Actually, it's going to be the pool.
It's gonna be at the pool.
Really?
When did we change that?
Oh, we've never done that way.
Over the weekend.
Oh, the weekends. Okay. Okay, so it's at the pool.
Oh. Did not know.
Championship.
I think people just didn't want me to come, so they changed it.
Yeah, I always thought it was always Peace Plaza.
It is. Okay, so the pool on Thursday, September 4th,
Right.
Thursday, and then Tuesday, September 9th is community night.
Right.
It was originally in front of the police station, but I'm sure David's going to tell me it's
It's at the
moved.
pool?
Nah, that's
Okay, that's still staying there.
September 9th.
And then
Rain date is the 10th.
Rain date is the 10th, and then Sunday, October 19th, Fall Festival.
Yeah, got it.
See in front of Highland Park until they move it and not tell me.
Uh-huh.
Good.
My present to everyone is no closed session.
Wow.
Ooh.
Look at that.
MVP.
Just one housekeeping note. I noticed everybody is having trouble with the internet.
Yeah,
Um,
last time.
yes.
Let me ask, is everybody using a borough provided device?
No,
No.
I
Yes,
still didn't get mine.
No.
yes.
Okay, so part of the issue is security network issues. If you will use a borough issued device, that we could put you on a different network that has a different Wi-Fi that has a different security level. And then we can have IT program that, but we can't program that Wi-Fi onto a non-borough device.
So come in some random day.
Yeah.
We used to get Borough iPads or whatever.
We do.
Yeah.
Still good.
So whoever doesn't have a borough device, let Omar know and we'll get one and then we'll get it programmed. All right.
All right.
That, motion to close?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Yeah, let's have you look great. Cut us off at the
I have to start.
So what do we do?
And it's gonna be, like more.
Do you have a?
It's all ridiculous, but we've experts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going on.